Get ready to ramble.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to Ramblings of a Middle-Aged Card Collector, where we explore the stories, journeys, and creative paths in the hobby we love. Tonight, episode 21, Independent by Design, IC3 and Creator-Driven Comics. Our guest is Matthew Sardo, who is the showrunner of IC3-New Haven since its founding in 2023, and the director of digital communications at Comic Art Fans. IC3-New Haven is part of the larger independent comic creator con network created with a clear mission to give independent comic creators a welcoming, affordable space to share their work and connect directly with the fans and collectors. Tonight, we'll talk about Matt's background in comics, owning a shop, how IC3-New Haven came together, what it takes to run a local creator-first convention, the challenges behind the scenes, and what he has learned through the show's first 2 years. So whether you're a creator, a collector, or just curious about how conventions actually get built, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Welcome, my friend.
Very impressive, my friend. I watched a few episodes and stuff like that. Your introductions are hands down flawless, and I appreciate that. And then Black Keys feeling going on there with the intro music.
Yeah, it was pretty good, right? It was not bad.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Thank you. I changed it up because the original audio was from the first intro I ever had with my boy Swish Rips made for us. And when I changed the video, I tried to keep the audio, but the lengths weren't right. So I had to loop it. And if, I'm going to point out my, because I'm always particular,
Who wants to get into the weeds of YouTube programming?
It loops at a certain point and you can catch it. And I always tried to make it where it sounds like it's in between a drum beat or something, but it's too, it always bothered me. It was something I was like, you know what? I had extra time today. So I was like, I'll mess with it. I'll get into it. So.
No, your roster that I saw, I was like, I think I know half of them from like OAX, which is really cool. And then I see some other people that I haven't met that have gone to OAX, and then there's Ian Cinco. That is that man. You know what? I don't own a piece of art from Ian Cinco yet, and that needs to change.
And that is a goal for 2026.
Yeah, that is a goal of 2026 to get a piece of art from Ian Cinco.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible work. Also, guy, got to meet him at the Comic Art Fans after hours event with everyone, as well as you, Matt. So those are two of my definite drinking buddies, hanging out partners now. I'm looking forward to it at OAX because that'll be fun.
Oh, breaking news about OAX. There's going to be a taco truck.
Ooh.
Yeah, we just secured a taco truck for OAX. Very excited about that.
There you go. You all heard it here first. Taco truck.
Oh no, and then I guess I'm not gonna say anybody's names, but we're announcing 13 artists tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
13 more artists are dropping tomorrow morning. So
oh, cool. Stay tuned to Comic Art Live and Comic Art Fans socials to see those awesome updates.
I see a certain person in the comments, and he made this Astro Boy for me at IC3.
Oh, hold on, let me make you bigger, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire, dude.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Very cool. Yeah, wait, tacos? Yeah, we're going to get tacos, yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. Is it going to be there the whole time, or is it going to be there for the first night, the open bar and all that?
Well, there's 2 nights of open bar, just so right now.
Pizza party's the second one, though, right?
That's how they got me to work for
That's
CAF.
funny.
They're like, hey, we have this event where we have 2 nights of open bar. But no, like Friday there's the VIP reception, and there's actually like VIP hours this year for OAX. So if you want to like get in and get some sketches or artwork or just, I'm gonna dig through some bins. Like that's the thing is I never had the chance to dig through page bins yet. And because again, I'm still like a noob to like original art collecting, but like I have like $200 and I'm just be like, what? I'm going to go through a bin and just see what they got for $200 and find a really good page for myself. But that's Friday. And then Saturday we have, the show, but then we have the Kirby Awards, and then we have our art auction and fundraiser event, and art for that just dropped today.
I saw.
I wonder if I could put a link in the chat. Can I put a link in the chat?
You could definitely put a link in the chat. Absolutely.
Yeah,
If I saw that today. I saw PJ did the Absolute Batman with the Joker in the background. That was sick.
Yeah, that was like really awesome.
And then Matt Wagner did a Battle Beast cover. I think it was cover number 5, which was awesome. He's cutting somebody's head off, which is sick.
Yeah, so I had a long talk yet today about the auction because things were dropping. You know, we're gonna have like 70 to 90 pieces of artwork when it's all said and done. And I've seen, this comment has failed to post. I tried.
Here, I'll grab the link.
Yeah.
Keep everyone busy real quick while I search for it.
Just so everybody knows, I have more Astro Boy to share with everybody.
Oh, there you go.
So with IC3, and I hate to jump around, I apologize. But with IC3, the past 2 years, I've always came up with like a concept for commissions. Mm-hmm. So the first year was like turtles, and I got 4 turtles commissions. And then last year I was like Astro Boy, and I got like a couple different Astro Boys. And then I started doing stuff for my kids because like you see, this is my little area where I can put stuff up, but there's the whole rest of the house that my wife doesn't let me put art up.
Okay.
So I've gotten my kids like some sweet like Lilo and Stitch commissions and, you know, like other stuff from like really good artists doing things that my kids like. And so that their room now gets like really cool artwork and stuff. That's been the shift.
Awesome. That's
been the shift. And I did get permission from my wife. I got married on 9/10/11, September 10th, 2011. And Alex Saviuk, he was the inker for Amazing Spider-Man, the comic strip. Uh-huh. And so if he has the one from when we got married, I can buy that to a certain budget, but like I can buy that one.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. I was like, that was a lot of, that was a bottle of wine in. I was like, hey, there's this comic strip. They might have it when we got married. Can I get it? And she was like, maybe.
I'm trying to find the exact link for the auctions. I'm on the homepage. I see, what is that? Heritage auctions, premium art, comic link auctions, connect auctions, Hakes auctions, comic art auctions. Which one would it be?
It's OAX Art Auction and Fundraiser Gallery.
OAX Art Gallery. Okay, hold on. I could probably do that. Search for the gallery.
Yeah.
Starts with, it's OAX.
Well, I'll drop it in the. I'll drop the link in the chat or our personal chat.
Oh yes, you could probably do that 100%.
Yeah, sorry.
Got it. Boom.
Did you get it?
Yes, sir. And
okay.
I can put it right there.
So last year, Chris Anderson, again, he made me this bluey for my kid, like cable bluey.
That's cool, man.
I was like, just make it crazy, Chris, and this is what he came up with, and it came out pretty awesome.
I like that mashup. That's a fun mashup.
Yeah. But yeah, no, then yeah, Gerald Dye, he did this Astro Boy for me.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You really like Astro Boy?
I do like Astro, and then I got this Fife one. This was through his Patreon.
Oh, I like that too. Classic.
Yeah, classic.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, no, Astro Boy. Well, I went to I forgot what year it was. I went to San Diego Comic-Con, and I was covering it for Comic Book Resources. And I got to, usually if I'm covering a panel, I'll go to the panel before. And I went to the panel before, and I just stood against the wall. And I see, like, all these voice actors come in. And I was like, what's going on? And it was the Astro Boy panel. And I was like, the movie ended, then like Nicolas Cage, and I'm blanking on her name now. She wasn't Buffy. She was the private detective, the high school private detective. She was also in the good. She was also in The Good Place.
Was she in How I Met Your Mother?
She was not in How I Met Her Mother.
Oh, okay.
Kristen Bell. She was in Frozen. Okay. She was in Frozen.
There you go, Frozen.
Yeah, so like Kristen Bell walks by me in like 2011. I was like, whoa, And then they do Astro Boy, and like it was really cool to like talk to. I love going to like voice actor panels, and then I actually have animators there and everything like that.
Nice.
It was a really amazing panel, and then I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I don't care what anybody else says about Astro Boy.
It was fun.
And then you have like all the old history of Astro Boy. That's pretty amazing too. So
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I've not too familiar with many voice actors, but one time I was with my son and we were walking through Comic-Con and we met Beast Boy, the guy who does Beast Boy from Teen Titans, which was really cool.
That's
and then
awesome.
The next year, me and my whole family were walking by and he had his booth and we got to meet him again. It was really cool. So, he was a wild guy, very cool dude. But it was fun to actually meet the person behind the voice because you're like, you never put the face to the voice. You know what I mean? You're always like, who the hell is that? But it's very
cool. That's the advice I would give to anybody going to like New York Comic Con or any conventions. Like, if there is a voice actor panel, it's probably the most fun panel you're going to go to.
Nice.
Like, make that be like a bucket list item for you and going to cons. You know, because I know they can be overwhelming. Like New York Comic Con for me, like I've gone a bunch, but I'm still overwhelmed. I'm like, I got to make a plan. And then I make a plan. I'm like, this plan just blew up.
Yeah, you got to be very fluid when it comes to the city like that.
Yeah.
You got to adapt and overcome. And always challenges arise whenever you're dealing with anything there. At least how I've seen it, you know. I work in Queens, so I got to cut through all the time. And it's horrible. It's crazy, though, because there was just the holidays and school traffic. I was getting in and out of the city in like 30, 35 minutes, no problem. But as soon as school comes back in, man, it's like an hour, 10 minutes to get to work. Damn.
Yeah, I've done New York Comic Con multiple ways, or like sometimes I've stayed in Jersey and taken the train in, or I've stayed in town and paid way too much for it. But it's, you know, I don't know. I think it's part of the experience is going to, you know, just dealing with all that stuff. Public transportation people, you know.
Yeah, I would recommend the ferry. The ferry's a good experience.
I want to do. I have some friends that have done that, and like, there's just such a nice calming experience before you get to the chaos.
Yeah. It's if it's a group of you, it's cheaper too. At least it used to be. I don't know if it still is, but it used to be. You get a group discount, so it's not bad. You park the car on the Jersey side, take the ferry. Sometimes it could be really cold though, but it's not too bad. I prefer to do that than driving in and out because. Now they have that toll, the Midtown congestion toll or whatever that toll is. And it's like, I'm good. You don't want to get hit by that. It's just more money.
It's crazy.
So for listeners who may not know, tell us a little about your background and how comics became a part of your life.
Oh, man. I mean, I probably have to say I'm close to like the Forrest Gump of the comic book industry. Like I've kind of done almost like everything. My parents owned a video store way back in the day, and they had a spinner rack that, you know, I conned them into being like, hey, we should get a spinner rack of comic books. And they found like a newsprint place and they had that. And so I started like collecting back issues, and I had like a little like back issue section in the back of the video store. And so that's kind of where like my first like comic book store like started.
Oh, wow.
Like I was like 15, 16. And well, that was like, I'm older. So that was like right when like all the Image stuff came out.
Okay.
And like, that's like when, you know, Youngblood, Wildcat, Spawn, Savage Dragon, all that stuff. So that was like, I'm a huge like Image founder fan because it was just a crazy event back then. You had Todd McFarlane relaunching Spider-Man, and you had that insanity, and then he's like, just rips the carpet out from underneath you and be like, yeah, I'm leaving Spider-Man and I'm starting my own business. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we can't be doing this stuff. But it was an insane time. And then, then my parents moved and we moved back to New York, and I kind of like lost comic books for a little bit, and I bounced around, and then I moved to Chicago, and I skipped through like a lot, you know, but like but when I moved to Chicago, it was like 2002, and I was bartending in the city, and I walked by a Graham Cracker Comics, and I was like, oh, what's going on with comic books? And that was right when Jeff Johns and everything was kind of like Bendis. All the writers were coming back, and like Identity Crisis, Brad Metzler. Like I read that and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. They brought Hal Jordan back because honestly, I got mad as a kid when they like made Hal Jordan a bad guy. You know, they killed Superman, they broke Batman's back, and they made Hal Jordan a bad guy. And then when they made Hal Jordan a bad guy, I was like, and I'm out. Like I'm out. I'm done with you guys. And so then when I saw they brought Hal Jordan back, I was like, oh man, I'm in. And I was going to the I was bartending, and I was going back to school, and I had disposable income, and I was just buying everything up and everything like that. And then was just, you know, eBay was going crazy. I was buying collections, and I just amassed this giant collection of stuff. And I was like, I should probably just open a shop. It was like one of those things where I was like, because I was like, for journalism, sports journalism, I would have to go to the middle of nowhere, Illinois, like Decatur, Illinois, and cover like high school football and be broke there. And so it was like one of those things like, do I be broke owning a comic book shop, or do I be broke doing, you know, journalism? And so I chose the comic book shop because I didn't want to leave the city. And so I did that. And it was really cool because it was like, it was when like boutique comic book shops were starting to rise up. You know, because parents were like, comic book shops are smelly and stuff. And so like I tried to present a comic book shop. I tried to like do things to like make it look nice and be enticing to readers and look for new readers, and did different experiences. And, you know, so we like had private screenings to Iron Man and private screenings to The Dark Knight. Wow. And we're doing all those things because we had the Navy Pier IMAX was downtown Chicago, and my shop was like a mile north of Wrigley Field. So it was all this stuff was really close together to do big events and everything like that. And that was the best part of owning a comic book shop, was running events. Like I would, I'd do a big event every quarter. I would do like ZombieCon. I would do our anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And then I discovered that in Chicago, the week before the Super Bowl, there's nothing going on in the world. Like nothing. The world literally stops in Chicago the week before the Super Bowl. And so the weekend before the Super Bowl. So I launched WinterCon when I had a shop. And I think I had like 32 creators come down. Because I had them all for like 2 hours at a time. Like I couldn't fit. My shop was like a studio apartment. You know, it was like 700 square feet. But I figured if I had creators show up for 2 hours, you know, I could fit 30 creators come down over 2 days. And like, that's what I did. And I was like, man, if there was some way for me, like what I'm really good at is throwing events, like, you know, movie premieres and all these things and the shows. And I was like, man, if I could figure out some way of just doing one event a year, like, I think I'd be really good at it. And that was way back then. And then, like, you know, it was the Great Recession. There was a lot of construction in front of my shop. I got married. And then my wife's like, what are we doing here with this? Like, is there a future for our family with a comic book shop? And I was like, no, not really. You know? So then I closed the shop, and then we moved down to Florida, and that's when I got into, like, sports talk journalism and stuff like that. But I was always had the comic book thing in my mind of like what to do, and I was like always had like a blog, and you know, because the early 2000s, late 2000s was like Twitter came, all social media came out at that point in time. YouTube was doing their thing, and so I always had that like blogging mentality of keeping things going and stuff. And then I launched Monkeys Fighting Robots, which covers comic books, and that's been around for 10 plus years now.
Wow.
And everything. And then, did sports talk journalism. I went to the Super Bowl in New York. I went to the All-Star game in New York. Down in Florida, I covered like the Bucks, the Rays, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then the Orlando Magic. So I was doing all that kind of stuff. And, And then I started Monkeys Fighting Robots once we had a kid, because daycare is really expensive. I'm sure. And so I was doing Monkeys Fighting Robots, and we grew Monkeys Fighting Robots. And then where is it? Then I don't know if I'm trying to remember where it started, but my friends were like, "Hey, Matt, there's this Wizard magazine, and there's this guy like Eli Schwab, and there's like this group on Facebook called Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats." And I know Manny Gomez showed it to me first. But I'm trying to figure out when it showed up in like my sphere, because all these indie creators were like self-publishing, but they were self-publishing like they were showing videos of them stapling books together and like crafting comic books as opposed to like printing like it was more of a like I would say boutique comic book making, you know, and that's where you're like somebody's charging $10 for a comic book, and I'm like, whoa, that's in my head that was insane. Like, why? How are they getting away with it? But they're not just selling they're not selling like a floppy like Marvel DC book. They're selling like, you know, it's more of who they are kind of thing. Like this is their passion and everything like that. And like so you could kind of justify the price, and it was the only way people could stay in money is if they're charging that too. So it was I had to readjust my brain to like the indie scene that I was witnessing in this Facebook group. And I started buying some books and getting some things and meeting some people. And then, you know, people were doing anthologies, and then I think Monkeys Fighting Robots printed 4 anthologies.
Oh wow.
And everything. Cause like and then I thought about the idea of doing an indie convention. Cause like I printed a comic book with Jamie Jones. We did Tales of Monkeys Fighting Robots. We did 100 pages of that. It was like a weekly comic strip.
Nice.
And I printed out the first issue, and I had this whole like comic book store tour to do and promote it. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, ugh. And I was like, damn, this really sucks. But I also like got out there and was promoting the book and everything like that. And like, it's really tough. It was really tough. And I was like, what if I created a show that kind of helps creators as more, because again, like you had a lot of stuff with like movie stars, and the comic book convention kind of changed and everything like that. And I was like, what if I made like a niche show with indie creators? And so then I was like, I started to like get that together, and then you know, again, the pandemic slowed everything down and stuff, and so I was always thinking in my head of pulling this off. And then I moved to I moved to Connecticut and started looking for venues, and I found the New Haven venue, which was awesome, and we got the first show launched in 2024. And so that was the first show, and it was insane because everybody who'd been stuck in on the pandemic, and we were talking in this Facebook group, showed up to the event, and like it was lots of hugs, lots of emotion, a lot of just to be like, oh my god, I'm so glad to see you, so glad to be with this, stuff like that. And yeah, it was crazy, and it was really good, and the drink and draw was amazing. The show itself was amazing. The after party was even crazier, and it was just a really amazing like event. And
cool.
Yeah, and then we, you know, I saw like in Bleeding Cool that like OAX was launching around the same time IC3 was launching, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I saw Kezra's name, and I was like, oh, Kezra did a signing at my comic book shop. I know him. And it was like, it was in my eye, it was in my like ear, and I had kept an eye on it, and I was like, oh, they're doing, you know, artists and all this other stuff, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and that kind of, you know, is a really interesting concept that they were working on with OAX, Original Art Expo, and so I always had an eye on it. And then after the first show, I don't know if I got like probably got like a Facebook message or something from them, and I was like, hey, I know you. And like, so we had a connection from Chicago, and we met at Eddie Pecan, and like we talked, and we're like, yeah, we gotta get together. We gotta make this happen. And then, you know, IC3 became kind of comic art fans, and then we just started running because Kezra has a really amazing vision for the indie creators and what CAF can do for it, because CAF is insane. I've never met so many art collectors and amazing people and a huge community that like is so passionate about art, and it was very impressive. Yeah, so then like it just made sense for things to come together, and so now IC3 is part of CAF. We have like a national platform where there's, you know, IC3-New Haven is now moving to Providence because I found a bigger venue that we can do cooler things in. We have a Jacksonville show coming up. IC3 has been part of Comic Art Live for the past, I think it might be 3 times now. Wow. And now IC3 is going to be part of OAX because there's some really amazing legendary indie creators, and then there's some really amazing up and comers that like just make sense to be at OAX and stuff like that. So the sky's the limit for the indie scene, and like what the potential of what we can do with CAF and Indie Comics Creator Con. Like that's why like I'm part of it. Like if anybody talks to me about this, like, I believe in CAF, I believe in IC3. It's really amazing that, like, the potential that we have going forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see it.
And I apologize for being
me.
sick. I apologize for being sick, guys.
Yeah, no, you're good, brother. Again, thank you for pushing through and being here.
Yeah.
I know the pain. I got over the flu, and then the flu turned into this like upper respiratory thing, and I was like, when am I going to get better? So we're there. We're getting there, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, all my head is like, get every cold that I can possibly get, like, by February 1st. Like, get it all out of the system so that, like, my immune system is so ready to go
For February
and OAX and all that's going to go down there and stuff. Because
said the same thing, I was like, at least come on, let's go now. Get it out of the way.
Oh man.
So we had a question from the chat real quick here. Did you keep any of your childhood comics you collected from when, I guess, you had your like back area?
So I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. And Kevin Smith was like, I sold everything to make Clerks. And so I sold everything to open up my shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so and then there was another thing where if like you want to be successful as a comic book owner or, shop owner, you can't think of anything as personal. Everything has to be for sale, because if you start being like, oh, I'm going to hold this, I'm going to hold that back, then you're not going to be selling things.
Correct. You're going to start hoarding things.
So we had Amazing Spider-Man ~1 in the shop. And one of my events is we raffled it off. I sold, I think at the time it was probably like a $1,500 copy. And I think I might have sold like $2,000 worth of tickets. And I know the person who's won it. And he ended up getting it signed by Stan Lee, and it's sitting on his wall, and it's a holy grail. And I think to myself, I was like, man, if there was one book I could have held on to, it would have been that one. But I don't know. I've had so many amazing experiences. So I can't complain. I really can't complain on that stuff, because like, I hope my kids like comic books, but they're 7. The twins are 7 and Alice is 9. I'm still unsure on whether or not they're going to be like, I have all this collectible stuff, and I'm like, I hope somebody likes it,
That's so funny you say that. Because it kind of went over my son's age group. They're into anime and manga, and comics just... He likes Batman, but he likes Batman from when we watched like Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon or the movies. You know what I mean? He's not too familiar with the comics. Nowadays, he's familiar with comics, but not because he read them, because he's watching, like Comicstorian, shout out.
Yeah.
Or Comics Explained, shout out, guys. Those are good, awesome, fun guys to watch. But that's how these kids are learning it, because they're into the manga and the anime. And so hopefully your kid's age group, it's like back into that youth, you know what I mean? That'd be fun to see. But yeah, you just gotta hope, because I'm in the same boat, man. I got sketch cards. I have a huge pop collection that it's crazy. I have lots of things. I have a huge comic collection, but I'm like, my daughter's not into comics, my son's not into comics, so it's just like, I've always been like, I have such a large inventory, I should just start selling stuff. I know
that was during the pandemic, when like all my friends who had comic book shops were doing live shows. I was buying up like crazy.
I bet.
Like insane. Like, I like the whole entire like Booster Gold and also like series from like the 80s. I was like, if anybody was selling like a complete set of something, I was like, oh, I'm totally buying that. And it was just like, I was like, I have a complete set of like Batman and the Outsiders, and I was like, this is insane. Like, it was just like, I was just going, and like whoever was selling sets, I was like, I will eventually like read this. Like Jeff Johns' Teen Titans run is insane, and like I bought all of that, and like I go. It's funny, since I own a comic store now, like I go through stages where like I buy a lot, then I buy nothing. I buy a lot, then I buy nothing. So it's like gaps where it's like, and now like, with the new books, there's so many amazing new books, but time-wise, I'm only reading like the Transformers, G.I. Joe stuff.
Okay.
And so that's like all the stuff that's all the stuff I watched before I got into comic books. like I was a huge GI Joe Transformers kid, and so now I'm like reading the book. I'm reading the comics that I used to watch before I was into comic books and stuff like that. So
That's fun, man. That's a fun time, era right there, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Transformers, GI Joe. That's
and now Godzilla's like I got my kids into like Godzilla and stuff.
Okay.
And so that's fun. So my kids and I talk a lot about like music and like television. We just like because I'll hear animated shows and I was like, hey, I introduced them to the original like Ghostbusters cartoon, the real
That's
Ghostbusters.
my favorite, the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
That the animation in that first season is dope as anything.
Yeah,
and then
that's the shiznit.
yeah, like it is, and it actually is kind of scary too. It's like for a kid. But then we started talking about, and then they started watching Full House, and I was like, "Hey, that guy's the voice actor to Ghostbusters, Dave Goulier." And so we kind of like I try to get them to make connections on kind of things and stuff like that. But like, because I like talk, because like I'm into film, I'm into comic books, I'm into, a lot, music, all this creative forms is pretty awesome. So it is kind of fun to like break it down to your kids and then them kind of like figure things out kind of thing, because there's a time distance and stuff.
They're their own, and each one's their own, separately, completely different sometimes. So
yeah, I take them all to Terrific Con on the Friday because it's during the summer. And like I'll pick them up from camp, and we'll go to Terrific Con, and they usually have they usually have a pretty good lineup of artists to talk to and indie creators to talk to too. And that show's like 15 minutes from my house.
That's convenient.
But they blow my budget on like 3D printed toys this last year. I don't know who invented 3D printed toys, but they took all my money this past year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I've been safe. I've never gotten into the toys. It's funny because I have like my son had toys, but sometimes he never opened them. Mm-hmm. So I learned from when I was a kid. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get rid of that. I'm just gonna put that in the basement in a tote, and maybe one day that might actually be worth something. You never know. You know what I mean? Some toy con or something might want it. But I learned my mistake. So now I have like these what was it? Plants vs Zombies. They came out with these toys when they came out with the game for the second one. I think it was Warfare or something it was called. Okay. But they were like highly detailed toys, and they're like the way the GI Joes used to be, like bigger. But he only opened one of them, and then he ended up getting like a double of it. So like I have the whole collection just unopened. So I was like, and I've never put it on display because I don't want it to get dusty or anything. So they've been just sitting in a tote for mad long, and I'm like, oh, hopefully one day either maybe I'm hoping their kids might like these things, you know what I mean? So like that'll be you could break it open for your grandkids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a huge manga store by us in Mystic, Connecticut, and anime, manga, all that stuff, all the toys. And my kids are going nuts over like the mystery boxes, like the little mystery boxes, like, oh, I don't know what kind of figure I'm gonna get, and blah blah. And they're like, and they're like, can we go there? And then I was like, I don't want to spend $10 on
yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it, man. But it's like, but they love it. They're like, oh man, this is amazing.
Of course they love it. It's a dopamine hit.
I know.
It's exactly what it is for them. It's like getting a loot box in video games. It's technically like gambling. So yeah, don't do it. I learned my lesson, because then all of a sudden they're gonna want every single mystery kind of box thing that you'll ever see, and it's like, oh no, don't do it. I learned that's with my daughter because she's 12 now.
But how many mystery sketch cards did we just get?
Well, that's different. That's different. Whose side are you on?
I know. I play disc golf, and there's this one company that runs Discmas, like at Christmas, like you put your name in the hat, and they like send you a name back, and they tell you kind of what they want, and you just give them a disc. You give them a disc and you mail it off, and then you get a disc from some other random stranger. And it's always about like giving more or like kind of wowing, because disc golf is crazy and people buy way too much stuff because they'll buy a disc and be like, oh man, I really hope it flies this way. And then it doesn't. And then they're like, I don't want this disc anymore. And it just sits on their shelf. So like, sometimes I've given away like 3 or 4 discs and thrown in some of my comic books that I made and gone out, and then like I've received like a couple, things, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's like a cool like mystery experience kind of thing.
Yeah, Secret
And then
Santa.
yeah, Secret Santa, and then they also do at Christmas time they do mystery, like the big companies will do mystery boxes where it's like $100, you don't know what you're gonna get, blind draw. Everybody's
draw.
everybody's doing the mystery thing now, but the mystery sketch thing is insane. It's so good. Like I'm so addicted.
Yeah, I'm very into the mysteries. I'm still waiting on one more mystery sketch from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what I get. I know it's with Next Comic Art. I just don't know what artist. You got your first mystery sketch.
Yeah.
Show everyone that one. Oh, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's JP, right?
Yep. Gigzilla.
Awesome,
where's the focus point on my camera?
Oh, here, hold on. Let me get you there back.
But it did take me a long time to figure out what I wanted.
Okay.
And that's where I was like, man, what do I, because again, I think that's my biggest problem with commissions is like, I don't know what I want. Like, I know who I like and stuff, but I was like, what is going to look cool and like a 9, you've got your grid back there, like a 9-panel grid and everything like that. And so I started getting like Joker. I settled on the Joker.
Okay.
And then I was like, now I'm gonna do like 9 Jokers and stuff. And
dude, who was the artist on that one?
This was a gentleman, and I pulled up my Calf Gallery so I don't butcher people's names. This is Alberto Albuquerque.
Here, sometimes you just there you go, perfect.
Yeah, Alberto Albuquerque.
Okay.
I met him at New York Comic Con, and
Nice.
I did an IC3-Tober with like the prompts.
Yeah.
And he's from Spain, and he saw me at a bar, and he's like, "Hey, you Matt Sardo?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm Matt Sardo." And he's like, "Dude, that IC3-Tober was awesome." And he did all the drawing prompts.
Cool.
And so I gave him a whole bunch of sketch cards that I had. That's going to be my new thing. I'll just let everybody know this right now. If you see me at any conventions, I have blank sketch cards on me.
Oh, I'm going to be hitting you up.
And just hit me up. Just see me. Like, hey, Matt, I know you got blank sketch cards on you. And just ask me for sketch cards. I have IC3 ones.
Yeah, it's something I want. Yeah.
I do have. Oh, what do I got some Comic Art Live here from Comic Art Live. I don't know if I have these. I got to get more of these made. I did these 4x4.
What the hell is that? Oh, that's nice.
We did this for Drink and Draw at IC3.
Oh,
so it's kind of like coaster size.
Yeah.
This is Paul Kirshner. He did the strip, the bus.
Oh, if you got one of those, I'll take one of those, dude. That's an awesome, unique size.
Yeah, I got a Dean. This is Dean Haspel. Sorry.
Oh, is that Batman? That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, Batman. And then John Mungielli, he did Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That is dope.
And so that was the thing is we did Drink and Draw. So the first year, I don't think I had like anything for people to draw on Drink and Draw because I just didn't know what to do. And then the next year, I did these like coaster size ones.
That's a great idea.
Bigger than coaster size.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, you can even like put them in epoxy and have them as coasters.
Yeah, but yeah, no, we did a lot. And then so yeah, we have like this size, and then we have the sketch cards. We did this is John Burkett.
Oh, who's that? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Is that Rocksteady?
Yeah, it's Rocksteady.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and then I don't know who this is. So the cool thing about running a convention is I clean up afterwards, and I just get stuff.
What's
like this was just laying around.
Is there a name on the?
Yeah.
The cat, like the actual drawing on the nameplate is what's the name say?
It says Seek.
Seek. Trying to think what that's from.
Yeah.
That's dope looking though.
Yeah. So I mean, the first year I ended up with a whole bunch of comic books, and this year, there was a few sketches laying around and stuff, and yeah. So that's the side bonus of like cleaning up after a convention is that I get some cool. But this was from Alberto Albuquerque. He gave me the first prompt from IC3-Tober Cerebus.
Oh wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's great looking. That's the perk of it, right? You get some awesome pieces.
So, yeah, and there was I wish the guy put his name on it. There was an artist at IC3, and it's just a zombie. But his thing was he was like roll the dice at my table, and the dice equaled time. And so this was like a 1 minute sketch or something like that. But you could, and he was just giving these away.
Wow, that's a really cool concept.
Yeah, and he was just like a speed drawer and stuff.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, because like a 20-sided die, you get up to 20 minutes.
I forgot how. I mean, my kids were walking with me. I was like, "Yeah, you guys can do it. Whatever." Yeah, like. So.
That's a cool idea. I like that though.
Yeah, this was the first poster for IC3.
Oh, those are cool.
Tony McMillan. Yeah, this is like the program and stuff, but he did the first poster, and then this was the program. Like last year, I made like a comic book as well to kind of hand out and stuff.
That's really cool.
And then, but I mean, just so everybody knows, like with indie comics, man, the gateway are these bootlegs. This is a bootleg Bebop and Rocksteady.
Okay.
I know Anton William Blake. He did the map for IC3. He did like a Dungeons and Dragons map for us, like in the style, cool. Like and then Manny Gomez wrote this, and it's like a super punk rock because they form a band, and it's like super 80s punk rock, and it's pretty amazing. So the bootleg books, I'm trying to think of the other one that I got because I have a Jesse Lonergan one, and his is pretty amazing. But yeah, the indie scene on the bootleg is pretty amazing.
Are you going to be hosting the pub crawl?
I mean, I'm on the pub crawl. I mean, like I would definitely, yeah. I mean, I went on the pub crawl. I have a T-shirt. I won. I made it home. Did you do it last year?
No. Me and the missus didn't do it last year, but I'm probably gonna do it this year. My son will be with me. He can't drink, but he could be in the bars because he'll be 18. So
yeah, and most of the like it's Orlando, so it's like Hooters, TGI Fridays, Miller's Ale House. Like it's there's no like divey bars.
No, it's like everything.
That's where all the trouble would happen. That's where all the trouble would happen and stuff like that. Oh, here it is. Jesse Lonergan's We Ride at Night. If you can get a copy of this, I highly recommend it. It's a bootleg Batman, but he does like his thesis statement in the front, and in the back, he shows you all the tools that he uses to make the book. And then, he's got some of it in the back. These are all the different tools that he used to make the book.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so I was like, wait a second, Mr. Cool Freeze detail. Toy. Yeah.
Why is there Mr. Freeze Toy there?
I was trying to get to the page because he puts them in the book.
Oh, wow. He superimposes them over the actual drawing.
Wow.
That's great. That's a cool little concept.
Yeah, and it's just a little pocket size. Like, it's good. And I mean, like, I think it was like $10, but it was like totally worth it. And like, the experimental stuff is crazy. But the first, where do I have everything? The first year at IC3, where did I put them? Oh, they're sitting behind me. I got turtles commissions.
Okay.
And so I had everybody pick their turtle. So like Chris Anderson did a Raphael.
Nice.
And that thing is like,
yeah,
super
that's nice.
I want to say it's like $40 or $60.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Monty Keene did Leo.
That's
this
cool.
was pretty cool. And then the Jesse Lonergan was one of the headliners last year for the first show, and he did this like Michelangelo.
Boots.
And this is ridiculous, man. Like in person, this is all watercolors, and this is just ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Tony McMillan did this like fun Donnie for me.
That is fun.
Yeah.
It's like the newer Donnie.
Yeah. So
that's great. That's cool.
Wow. And then I don't know. I've got tons of artwork, but like if you have a question, I will hand it back to you.
Oh, you're good. That was very enjoyable. I love seeing art and people's collections and hearing, get all those little perks for the pieces and everything. That's awesome. And,
I didn't know that was a perk.
Right.
Going in, I didn't know cleaning up and finding artwork was the perk.
That's funny. Well, it's something, it's a benefit,
Yeah.
Those are awesome pieces. And that's something, like when because So I guess I'll roll into it real quick. This month will be the first sketched live on the channel. It's will be January 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern. There'll be 5 artists who will be on. It's about 90 to 110 minutes long. There'll be an artist battle where the audience gets to pick the category, the genre, and the scenario. And then the artists have to do drawings for it. There'll be quick sketches. There'll be live auctions. Pre-show sales are now open. So pre-show commission slots are open for each 5 of the artists. I'll do a quick little video here for everybody while we're just rolling into it, and then we'll continue on. So, Matt, I'm just going to pop this on. So, believe if I just click this button, it's going to play. So, let's see if that's what's happened.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right.
I was still rocking, man. I was like, oh, let's go, we're going.
Let's go. So I'm excited. The artists are very excited. I just came up with the categories and everything to give the artists info for the what the audience can vote on, so they're not sideswiped. And I also coming up with the wild fun mashups that the artists are going to actually vote between each other. And then that'll be the second artist battle, which will be a wacky, fun mashup, which I've got a bunch of crazy ideas. But they get to vote, and that'll be voted on in the Discord. So if you saw that, the Discord's there. That's where all of the communications between myself, the artists, the community, if you join the Discord, you could actually vote there before the show starts. That way, everyone gets an idea of what actually is going to be going on for the show and can be excited. The artists, like I was saying before, and that you saw in the video, their pre-sale show commission slots are open. If you are interested in getting a commission from them for the pre-show, just reach out to them via Instagram. I did add all of their IGs in the description of this video. It's all the way at the bottom in the artist spotlight sketch live. So you can just reach out to them and work out the details. All of the prices that you saw are for full color. So take advantage of it. I know a bunch of people can't make it to OAX. There's a little gap in the mystery sketch event till May. So, hey, take advantage of this. If you want some sketch cards, go for it. And some fun artists. It'll be a fun event. And if you don't want the pre-show commissions, come hang out live with us on the 29th, because there'll be live auctions for the artworks that they battle against. And every piece that they do in the battle will get voted on by the audience. And then the winning piece will get auctioned at the end of that show. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
At the Comic Art Live this past November, I hosted a panel with 4 different artists, and I gave them prompts to draw during the show.
Nice.
And so then I interviewed everybody for 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And at the end of the show, I brought everybody back on. And Ian Cinco was on there, and John Mangielli, I I guess that he became the winner because I bought his artwork.
Whoa,
And he did this
whoa,
savage.
whoa.
He did this savage dragon.
Oh, dude, that's cool, man. Image throwback right there. Wow.
Yeah, and this was like $150.
That's a detailed like cover quality piece right there.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it was funny because like, I saw that we had Wesley Griffith. He was on there, and I'm trying to think of the other gentleman that was on there. I'm blanking on it. I think he did a Hellboy. But I saw this, and I was like, "You're the winner!" And then Ian Cinco revealed his afterwards, and it was Yosagi Yojimbo in space, and I was like, do I have another $150 on me? I was like, but again, 2026 is the year I buy something from Ian Cinco. Like,
yeah. I definitely want to have Ian on the show in 2026 as a guest for Artist Spotlight. That'd be fun to have him on. So I'll be reaching out, Ian, because I definitely want to get a piece too. And he's local. It's always fun when there's a local artist that when I work in the city and live in Jersey, and they're not too far, just meet up at a pizza shop or something, or a bar or something, hang out. And
that's super cool,
art.
man.
Yeah,
that's super cool. All right, so I guess I'll reveal that Sanford Green is going to be at OAX next year.
Really?
Sanford Green will be there. This was my first OAX commission. I'm a huge Mets fan.
Okay.
So I told him to do Mookie Wilson for me. So this is his Mookie Wilson stuff.
That's awesome.
Sanford Green will get announced. That's the one I'm going to spill because he's.
That's the one of the 13 for tomorrow. You can.
That's
tease?
That's the one of the 13.
Okay, and his pre-show commissions are going to open tomorrow.
I don't know about that.
If he did some.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about. I don't know about that part of it. I just know that he will be at the show.
He'll be at the show. Okay.
The show.
There's some more details we got to look for. There you go. Oh, there's Ian himself. Let me know, guys.
I know. I mean, I can't wait till Ian comes to OAX one year. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I think it'll be a lot of fun to get him in a sunshine state. Because I saw him in Pittsburgh, I saw him in New York, I see him in Connecticut. We're always hanging out in the cloudy areas. That kid, he needs some sunshine. So, but I bought this last Comic Art Live. This is speaking of Yosagi Yojimbo.
I love the Yosagi Yojimbo. Oh man,
yeah, John Burkett.
That's dope.
This was one of the IC3 prompts too for IC3tober. And that was really cool. And so I didn't start when I started working for Cap, I didn't have any original artwork. And now I had some original artwork, but like I didn't have a lot. And now like I'm getting stuff like every other month.
Got the itch.
I don't know. There's just so much. You just see so much good stuff.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. It's hard. It's hard to not want to jump on everything or commission 100 things at once.
That's the thing with IC3 is like I'm so impressed with the talent of the indie creators that come to the show and everything like that. Like everybody who comes to like the IC3 like has to be publishing a comic book or has a published work. And there's like no vendors. It's literally just a giant, awesome artist alley of indie creators. And the talent scale is insane. It's hanging up on my kid's wall, but like I got a watercolor. Mo McDonald, she did it, and she did this watercolor of Stitch with a butterfly like landing on her thing, and I'm like, it's just big, huge Stitch just hanging out, and the watercolors are just. I don't know. I'm a sucker for watercolor. I'm a sucker for watercolors.
Jared Cullum's one of my favorite artists.
Oh yeah. Oh. Did you get one of these at New York Comic Con?
Yes. Yeah, I did. When he did Usagi 1984, I was like, oh, it's the year I was born. I'll take that.
I don't know if they're going to be for sale, but I know there's going to be pages from this at OAX.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see in person.
Yeah, I do know that. And also, like, I missed at Heroes Con, but he's got some Fraggle Rock pages, and I want.
That's so throwback, man.
I know, man.
Imagine, that's really cool.
No, his Fraggle Rock stuff is awesome. and everything. So
Here's a quick fact. I actually liked Fraggle Rock more than Sesame Street. Ooh, blasphemy.
it's two different things. My kids didn't like Sesame Street. Like I put Sesame Street on, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we're good with that. We don't want any of that stuff." Where like I was like a sucker for Sesame Street. I thought it was amazing, but like again, I can go in the weeds on the formats of child. But no, they turned Sesame Street into this half-hour show where it's like the segments and stuff. Where like I feel like as a kid, Sesame Street was like an hour long. And like Kermit would show up and some crazy things would happen. But now like it's cut down to a half an hour and stuff. But
they got to make the other time slots for because now it's what HBO owns it, not PBS.
Yeah, and I think it might have gone to like
I don't think PBS
Netflix now or Netflix now. But then going back to like voice actors, because I had PBS on for my kids all the time, and there's like one something cat. Nature Cat. Nature Cat is all SNL alumni.
Oh, wow.
It's all SNL. And then Clifford the Big Red Dog was John Ritter.
Okay.
Yeah, and like and there was a whole bunch of other. There was a couple shows where I was like, I know all these actors. Like I would sit there because I'm doing stuff and my kids are playing, watching, and like in my head I hear all these actors, and I was like, what's going on here? So,
that was Batman Brave and the Bold for me. That cartoon was loaded. That and Teen Titans, when I would watch that with my kids, I'm like, there's a lot of, I think that's a famous person I'm listening to right now. And then you look it up real quick on Google and you're like, oh, wow, they did voice that as a guest appearance or something. And you're like, that's cool, because some people have that distinguished voice,
Yeah. I'm really hoping and waiting for my kids to like get into Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because I would love to revisit that series and like watch that again. And if for any of our Avatar friends out there, when Appa gets lost, it's the best episode ever. It's very sad, very sad and touching.
Yeah, it's a serious show. I mean, the Fire Kingdom ain't no joke.
Yeah, Three's Company, man. That's
Golden Girls. What was it?
Man.
Like my granny used to watch us at night when my mom had to work a second job, and she would watch Nick at Night. So like as a kid, I always remember like daytime would be those awesome cartoons, but then nighttime would always be like these like Get Smart or something like that, where the guy had the shoe phone and he would go through like the different doors opening and everything like that. I remember watching that one. And
Get Smart was great. Because Get Smart, I think. It used to play when I come home from school.
Oh wow! It only was at like late night for me. Yeah,
because like when I grew up in upstate New York, I used to go to flea markets all the time, and I used to be very wise with my allowance, and I would do extra jobs. So my grandfather would take me to the flea market, the big flea market, the Maybrook flea market. I don't know if it still exists, but I would take my money, and he wouldn't care what I bought. So like I would come back with a TV. I'd come back with a VCR. I'd come back with Star Wars or G.I. Joes or comic books or whatever it was. And I was always hustling. So like my older brother didn't have a TV in his room, but I had a TV in my room because I found somebody selling a TV. And so, back then, like we had Channel 11, WPIX, and then Channel 9. I forgot what it used to be. But those were the ones that used to play like monster movies and sci-fi movies on Sunday afternoons and stuff. And I was all into that because before G.I. Joe and Transformers, before it all is Godzilla for me, man. Godzilla is
okay.
The shit. Like I used to watch all that stuff. I try to watch an old Godzilla movie now, like where the guy's in the suit doing the thing. And I was like, how did I ever have an attention span to make it through that movie to get to where he was finally in the suit? But I was very focused on getting to Godzilla and stuff.
Yeah, now I think they call that Shin something Godzilla, but that's like
the
newer version of Godzilla. But it's like the way he looked when dude was in the suit. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I remember it's like you could watch is it Monster Island or Island of Monsters when like Godzilla's kids there and everything, and I watch that now and I'm like, what the hell was I watching when I was a kid? This is ridiculous.
my twins love Godzuki, man. They think it's like
that's its name, Godzuki. It's the kid's name. There you go.
Yeah, because they Oh man,
That's it. Shin Godzilla. Yeah.
yeah. But man, it would. Well, I've one like the new Godzillas came out. You know, there was like the new Godzilla and the new King Kong, and I will stand on the soapbox that the new King Kong, like the first one, is one of the most amazing monster movies of all time. Like that, where I totally forgot all the you got Brie Larson, you got Tom Hiddleston, and then you got Samuel L. Jackson, and then there's a whole bunch of other supporting actors. And I rewatched it recently. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. I literally should watch this like once a month and get pumped on monsters. But then like I prepared my kids for Godzilla versus King Kong New World Order, like the newest crazy one. And I was like, listen, guys, everybody dies in this is going to be fake. It's literally, this movie is just going to be a giant monster fighting another giant monster. And it's maybe scary, but it's probably just going to be really loud. So like I got them some earmuffs and stuff like that. And they're like, I pumped them up for like a month. Like, this is what we're going to do. We watched some trailers. I prepared them. And they were like, this is the best thing ever afterwards. They came out of it and they're like, because like, I don't know, did you see it?
Yeah. I've seen all of
So
them.
you had like the frost dragon thing. And then my daughters were like, oh, she's so cute. Like they're like, I was like, how do you know she's a she? Like, and then they're like, oh, Godzilla's riding on the cute little dragon, frost dragon. Like, it was so hilarious how they connected with it and stuff. But now they're like hooked. Like they're like Godzilla and King Kong. They're like, what's going on and stuff. And I told them, I was like, oh man, there's a new one coming out like next year, and they're fighting a space Godzilla. And they're like, who's space Godzilla? And then we start Googling and we start showing, and like, that stuff is so awesome, dude.
That's fun, man. That's especially when they're into it. There's enthusiasm. It rubs off on you. You're like, oh
Yeah, because it's funny because like my wife will see Godzilla on and she'll just walk out of the room. Like, it's just literally like, she's like, I'm gonna go read a book. You guys are all idiots.
There you go. It's a dad moment, dad core memory right there. There you go.
Yeah, no, it's
Those are
awesome.
important.
They are. So, oh man,
That's awesome. Yeah. I gotta get for me with my son, it's like I said, he really is into anime and manga. So like we'll sit down and watch Black Clover or like Berserk or a few other of the shows he likes, but that's mainly what we're doing. But like I said, when he was younger, it was like Batman and stuff. But nowadays he's just into that, and I'm like, all right, it's okay. But he'll watch all the good movies. Like we've seen almost every Marvel movie together in the theater.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, we didn't go see. What did we not go see in the theaters? I think we didn't go see the Marvels in the theaters. But other than that, we like saw every MCU movie in the theater. And now he's getting older and he's going to go to college. I'm like, oh man, what happens when one of these things come back? Because they're just so much further out all the time, and you're like, geez, you've been a real adult by the time we get to actually see the mutants or something like that. Because we've been waiting for the mutant saga, so got to get that going. That'll be fun.
Yeah, how you feeling about like was it Doomsday? It's not Doomsday, is it?
Oh boy, you want to get into that?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. All right, here we go. Well, I don't know what the popular opinion is of our friends in chat or yourself, but I am not a fan of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. How do you feel about that?
I'm not. So after Infinity War Part 2, like Endgame, whatever it was, that was like things kind of just ended for me. I did things for 10 years, and things kind of ended for me. And I was like, I'm like, oh, and then I started watching. I was like, I'm not really attached to anything. Like I did my 10 years, and stuff, but I still like Chris Evans. I took my kids. I took my kids to see the Fantastic Four movie. I enjoyed that. And also like James Marsden getting his deserve for Cyclops. I'm pretty excited for that. So what was that? What was the last one? What was the last Spider-Man movie where they had everybody in it? I'm blanking on the name of it. But the Spider-Man movie that had everybody in it, it justified my 20 years of watching Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, it's not a part of the comics. So they're blending a bunch of stories together.
Yeah.
So let's get this out the gate. I'll say it here publicly. Kevin Feige says that the MCU is the 616, but the 616 is the comics.
True.
So if the MCU is to be the true 616, and maybe this is their goal or plan for this soft relaunch, but what we have right now is not the MCU. There's no movie or continuation of a movie or arcs in a movie that are an actual comic. They're culminations of different storylines that they make to fit onto a screen, right? So because of that, it's not the 616 because the continuity between the comics isn't the same. So it's, I believe, I agree with what is that Kamala says about, Kamala Khan says about it. It's the 19999 or whatever. I don't know the name of it, but I think that's what you would classify. Excuse me. Classify it as would be the 1999, not the 616. So Endgame was great. I stood up in the movie theater. I clapped. I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" You know,
Yeah,
insane moment.
Right,
I remember that
going nuts. Yeah.
To me, Victor Von Doom is too much of a big character to now have a, like, he's supposed to have variants. He's not supposed to be a variant of Tony Stark. Now, Tony Stark has been Doctor Doom in certain comic stories. There was a mind swap. There was a time when Tony Stark was in a coma. Doctor Doom felt like he needed to right. The hell's the word I'm looking for? He did bad things, so now he wanted to do good things. So he took a suit of Tony Stark and he became Iron Man, the Invincible Iron Man. There's different storylines, but there's no like Victor Von Doom should have his own origin. He should have his own story because he's almost like an anchor being himself. He should be right up there with like the Scarlet Witch. If you're gonna go into like the whole multiverse thing. So the only way I feel Robert Downey Jr. playing, because as of right now, it's not confirmed it's Tony Stark.
Right.
It's only confirmed that Robert Downey Jr. is playing Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. And they said it when the Russo brothers announced it at was it New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con at the panel, and Robert Downey Jr. was revealed. But before he was revealed, the Russo brothers were talking. When they talk on these panels or whatever, they use specific words. They're very detailed on the way they speak. They like to cheat us on specific things when it comes to trailers. They like trick us. They mislead us. But the way they specifically were talking, and then there was also an interview followed up by Kevin Feige, where he kind of almost solidified my idea, is the way they talked about it, well, the way the Russo brothers talked about Robert Downey Jr. or the person they were going to reveal playing Victor Von Doom, which ended up being Robert Downey Jr., is they were talking about the acting prowess, ability, capabilities of the person that they wanted to play Victor Von Doom, because Victor Von Doom is such a layered character. He's a very complicated character. So my idea is that we're not going to see Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom, almost like we didn't see Colin Farrell play the Penguin. Like you watched the Penguin, the HBO show, you didn't know that was Colin Farrell at first. You're like, who the hell is playing the Penguin? And then they're like, it's Colin Farrell in like
tons of makeup, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Doom could be, his face is messed up, so they could put him in some kind of thing, right? Or which would be great, right? You're getting both of the where it's its own Victor Von Doom. It's this, but a lot of people are saying through leaks that it's going to be Tony Stark. Something happens in Infinity War Endgame differently in this universe, to where then he becomes evil and then he's this version of Doom. My hope, because there is a storyline where, and I don't want to spoil anything or go into any kind of rant where somebody might get, and who knows if I'm right or anything, but I would hope that we get misled this entire movie in two ways. It could be two different ways, right? Well, my hope is Robert Downey Jr. is playing Dr. Doom, but he's got a face thing, so we actually can't tell it's Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom. That'd be great. Okay, I don't think that's going to happen because of these leaks. So the next thing would be, and I would hope because it's in the comics, Victor Von Doom from this other universe just happens to look like Tony Stark. And he either actually looks like Tony Stark or is using some kind of technology to make himself look like Tony Stark to ploy on these people from 1999's MCU universe. And then that's how he gets on people's feelings, right? He's like, oh, I just happen to like, almost like Mysterio did to Peter Parker in the Spider-Man movie, right? He said he's from this other unit, he's a hero and all that, but it was all BS.
Right.
My hope is that, because this is in the comics, we get this fake Doctor Doom, which is Tony Stark, who's doing this whole thing. He's possibly from another universe. And at the end, because you got to remember, right? Here's the thing. We've seen through the drone light show that they did, and I can't remember where it was, maybe Hong Kong or something like that. But they did a drone light show for a sneak peek or something, trailer for Doomsday. And in it, you can make out that Dr. Doom does perform what happens in Secret Wars Battle World, where he removes a skeletal spine and skull from somebody. In this, if you wanted to, Thanos isn't around anymore, right? He was wiped out. He's gone. So wouldn't it be really badass if at the end or some point in the movie we get led by this fake Tony Stark who's Dr. Doom, and then at the end the real Dr. Doom shows up and murks the fake Dr. Doom the way God Emperor Doom murks Thanos, which ends up with the spine and the head in his hand. And then that's the end, and that's what leads us into Secret Wars. And that would be like, oh, that'd be fire. And that is in the comics, where Doom meets a version of himself is not Tony Stark, but meets a version of himself, and plenty of versions of himself, and who this version was perfect or whatever. And then Doom was like, at the end, he murks him, and then didn't like him so much because thought he was perfect. He like kills his whole universe. So they could be mixing these different storylines. We don't know where it's going to go. I really hope it's not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. as some kind of variant, and that's our doc. Because Dr. Doom's got a crazy origin, like he was like a poor kid with his mom doing magic, and she was into magic. I forget what his dad did, but then his mom had to make a deal with Mephisto, so she gets she dies. She gets taken by Mephisto. This is like all his past, and then he like finds his mom's magic books because they were like gypsies. He finds the magic moms in one of the gypsy traveling things, and his dad's like, I don't want you to use it, and then he learns it anyway behind his back, finds out Mephisto took his mom, venges to like kill Mephisto, or not kill him, but get his mom back, beat Mephisto. That's like drive for everything, like legit, you know what I mean? So like that's what we need like a legit storyline for Victor Von Doom. We should not be cheated with some cheap version of some kind of Tony Stark just because they want to fill seats for Robert Downey Jr.
I didn't even know we were going to do this. I got this from Tony McMillan. This is the pile right now. This is what's on top of the pile.
So that's my opinion. It felt great to get it off my chest because, man. But
I do have a sick painting from my buddy of Dr. Doom in the back. It's just hanging. It's in my calf gallery, I think.
Oh, calf galleries. There you go.
That was one of my drunk purchases during COVID. My buddy just was like, "Hey, I just did this painting. I'm really bored." And I DM'd him. I was like, "How much do you want for it?" And he's like, "I don't know. I've never sold a piece of art before." And I was like, $50. He's like, I was like, 70. He's like, 100. He's like, sold. I'm like, good. And I was like, it was a 100. I was like, and that's because it's just a sick. Dr. Doom is so, when we talk about sketch cards, like I was trying to figure out what to do with that, and like there's the Joker ones, and I was like, because I like the color that you can do with the Joker, with the purples and the greens and all that stuff. And Doom, this is not colored, but like Doom has really cool colors too as well, and you can do some like sick things.
Oh yeah, you got the steel, metal color with the green, and it's
Yeah.
a deep green. I'm a fan of green, and green and purple complement each other. So
Yeah.
the Joker's definitely one of my PCs when it comes to the DC universe. Batman and the Joker, and Barbara Gordon for Batgirl. Those are my
Right.
favorites.
Yeah. So how old were you when you read the Killing Joke?
Oh, that's one of my favorite stories. I was it middle school or high school when it came out? The comic book store from my house, the Joker's Child, had that as one of their front runners. They always did like a window display right on River Road in Fairlawn where they would like actually put cool stuff in the window. Like they would make stuff, make
Yeah.
displays and everything. And for big upcoming comics, they would have everything in there. And they had it for the Killing Joke. And when I went in there, I read that and it was awesome. I can't remember. I guess it was middle school. I guess 8th or 9th grade. And to me, it was one of my favorite stories. To this day, when I get a Joker commission, I'm like, oh, the Killing Joke, Batman the Animated Series kind of style. And they're like, all right, you know what I mean? Because I'm just like, that's my favorite Joker. That's the sickest story. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, no, I read that way too young, and I
Yeah,
was just like, what just happened here?
yeah.
But I always try to I ask readers and also creators, like, what was the comic book that you like read that like messed you up? And for me, that's the Killing Joke.
Yeah, it would probably be the Killing Joke because to me, I was, I guess 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade was Batman the Animated Series. So like grew an effect, like all those characters were awesome when you were young, you know what I mean? And then you read that story and it's kind of in that style and you're like, oh my God, what's going on right now? Like it was pretty deep. Any Batman story that was dark though in middle school, it was more of a graphic novel than a comic book in a way, you know what I mean? It was, it kind of, in a way, it was like part of your maturing, or you know what I mean, going through puberty. You went,
Yeah, because like when I started picking up comic books, like it was right before, maybe a year before Tim Drake got introduced as Robin.
okay,
So it was right after they killed off Robin, and then like I came in, and it was like the lead up to Tim Drake, and like with a year, and I was like, oh man, Tim Drake's my Robin. This is awesome. And now I'm 49, and Tim Drake is still like 18 or whatever he is.
yeah,
He
they did
might
him
have-
dirty in the New 52. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
The reorganization didn't favor
But-
Tim Drake.
But man, I mean, I'm a huge Nightwing fan. Nightwing's awesome. That's my only complaint about Cath is they're so Marvel. It's bad news bears. There needs to be more DC represented at Cath, and that's what I bring to the table.
I've actually brought this up before in a conversation. I believe now with Upper Deck having the DC license, we're gonna and sets coming out, and we know there'll be original art for those sets. So I think we will see more of a influx of DC onto the galleries in the next coming, years. As the sets
I'm in a sketch card Reddit group, and somebody is drawing a whole bunch of like DC sketch cards, and they're showing them off, and I'm like, oh, how do I get one of those?
Buy a box when it released. Buy the box at pre-order though. Don't buy the box at retail.
Yeah,
Definitely cheaper at pre-sale. Or you just wait until they hit eBay and then you bid on them. Yeah.
I don't have
eBay stinks. Facebook groups are good. Discord channels are good. That way you don't got to pay the tax man.
Oh, I was gonna show you. I got this one more piece too, because Christian Massimo. Yesterday was New Comic Book Day. He has a Godzilla cover.
Oh.
So it's for one of his first Hopefully I don't knock all my stuff over trying to show this. But I picked this up at Heroes Con for $200. This Turtles.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Raphael looks. Oh, they all look awesome. I love their faces.
That looks super cool. And then Ken Landgraf has been at the show. He's been at the show every year. And he's one of the original, indie underground guys,
Nice.
So, and Ken Landgraf is, if you ever see Ken Landgraf at a show, just look through his pile of stuff, and like that Wolverine was awesome, and he's maybe that's $100 at his table.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So if you see him, like, just pick some stuff up. But then Massimo, like, it's cool. I like being in people's life for just a little bit and then seeing their journey. You know, like I met creators, you know, with the comic book store, at the con, online, you know, all the different things I've done. And so, you know, with Monkeys Fighting Robots, I've interviewed people that were just starting out, and to just see people's careers, you know, excel. And I like seeing people be successful, and I like people, you know, growing in the industry and doing all that fun. So that stuff makes me like super happy when I get to see stuff. So I was like, when I saw that Massimo had a cover out yesterday, I was like jumping up and down, being like, yeah, This is awesome. You know, good for him and stuff like that. Because like, there was one year I went to San Diego Comic-Con, and I don't know if you're familiar with the writer Mike Morisi. He did like Dick Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Dick Tracy, and a whole bunch of other things. Of course, I'm blank. I should have had more stuff. But he was an indie writer that was coming to my store in Chicago, and I was at San Diego, and he calls me. He's like, hey, Matt, can I crash in your room in San Diego? Because I'm going to fly in, and like I'm going to talk to a publisher. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then I went to him in the publisher meeting, and he was like, hey, I'm going to sign this book with him, and he'll publish it for me. And then this is like 2007, 2008, maybe 2009, somewhere in there. But like Miracozy Publishing was like, okay, if Matt buys 300 copies if Matt buys 300 copies, I will publish your book. And I was like, sure, I'll buy 300 copies. Because we already talked about like, he'll throw a party and all his friends will come in and we'll sell all the books and stuff. So I wasn't really worried about being out the money. But that was the deal that we like worked out there at San Diego. And that kind of like started his career. And since then, you know, his skill level is through the roof. And he's, you know, written for films and TV and publishing comics. And so I love just being on his timeline for like this little bit and then just being able to watch the success from that. And that's what I'm really excited about with like the growth of IC3. Like 10 years from now, when we have like IC3s everywhere, and there's some creators that I've known from like that were like 16 doing stuff, and then they're like 26, and like where their career goes from there. Or, you know, there's a whole bunch of kids from Savannah Art Institute, and that came up to last year's show, to see where they go from there. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy, and it's really awesome to see people be successful in the comic book industry, because it's so hard. It is so freaking hard to be successful in the comic book industry. So any way I can help, that's my thing, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
That is awesome. So why do you think it's like important that like independent con stays creator focused and accessible to independent creators?
Why do I think Indie Comic Creator Con should stay indie focused? I mean, the simple answer is it's in the name. I'd have to change the name of the show. But this is the big debate that gets me in a lot of trouble. Is like, what is indie? You know, like, is Image Comics indie? Is, you know, somebody working for Marvel but not getting paid health insurance, is that indie? You know, being a contract employee, is that, you know, so like, I think we're all in this together. So I think it's really important to support the indie creators and give them a leg up and stuff, because I think they're in the front lines creating amazing content, and it's tough. So if I can provide an affordable venue for somebody to show their art, and then bring in an audience that is super jazzed to buy that art, like we're doing some amazing things.
Absolutely. What kinds of independent creators does the show attract?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I know for the IC3-New Haven, we were able, like I said, we had a whole bunch of kids from Savannah rent a van. They drove up. Cosmic Lion brings their whole crew from LA. We have the Northwest with where is he? With Wesley Griffith. So like we get like a huge people from the area, like the New England area. The Brooklyn kids come up, but we still get like an international. I mean, well, and also we get like some Canadians come down, but we get like a very broad audience of people. Okay. I would, Central New York, like I would. So I'm trying to think. So you have like Mice, and you have some other shows that are kind of I would say they're fanographics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like I'm kind of like Image Comics, like if that's a kind of like a vibe. But it's all about when you curate these things, like bringing people together that are gonna like have a vibe.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it's like I look at people's presentation, I look at how they set up at tables. There was Jacob White is my IC3 story, because he's like, hey man, I've never tabled before, but I had this book. And he goes, I can draw you a picture of what my booth would look like. Okay. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, in my head, I'm like, you're already in because you want to draw me a picture of your booth. But he sent me a schematic of his booth, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so he came to the show, he created a nice booth, and he has, used that as a stepping stone, and then has just jumped off to like gallery shows and other events. And, I think he just kickstarted another book, and I was just like, so it's kind of like, look, I'm really into sports. So I look at it from like, what are the skill sets that people have? How do they do? And like, do they have that, like, say they don't have all the skill sets to be here, but they have like a little moxie over here, like all those little elements that like come together, and you can really see that shine when you like look at people's work and you communicate with people, and how they handle themselves. You can be like, oh man, this guy hasn't this guy or girl or person or whatever it is, I apologize, but like this person has something, they have it. And this is just, whether it's just the beginning of the journey, the middle of their journey, like they belong and stuff like that.
That's great. Because I was just going to ask, like, have you seen creators return to grow from each year to year?
Yeah, no, that was the. So I think there was a lot of collaborations of writer and artist, or anthologies and this thing that kind of like from the drink and draw and the after parties and the communal aspect of it. Like, I think there was a lot of jamming that was going on there. I don't know when the Bebop and Rocksteady thing came to life, but those two people were at IC3 2 years in a row, and then they have a comic book. Yeah.
Networking.
Like, the networking and stuff. That was with IC3, I really want it to be kind of like a hybrid convention conference. I want the creators to get something out of it, like whether it be networking or meeting a printer or meeting, like a distributor or comic book shops, or just networking with other people. Last year, we really put a focus on the panels to be creator driven. So we had a comic book shop give a panel on how to pitch to comic book shops. We had a whole bunch of editors. I made sure to bring in a whole bunch of editors. Mike Martz from Mad Cave, Heather Antos from ITW, Eli Schwab from Cosmic Lion. They were there, and we held like an editors panel, and like how to talk to editors, what are those responsibilities, all those different things. And I'm blanking on the other panels as well, but they were all really creator focused, so that like you could come to IC3, and honestly, like, the tables aren't very expensive, but you could come to IC3, and even if you didn't sell anything, you would come out of there with like value, and you would come out of there inspired to create your next comic book. Like, that's my big goal, is to have them, the show's Saturday, they have the after party, they sleep on Sunday, they wake up Monday and be like, I need to make more comic books.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's like, it's kind of incredible. I mean, you're making like new first-time exhibitors or new indie creators feel welcome and supported through those panels and events. So yeah. And
now with the power of CAF, like, you go to IC3, if it's September, you do Comic Art Live in November. We have Comic Art Live in May. We have IC3 Jacksonville in July. So like there's going to be more. So like the motivation to create comic books is going to be there, and it's going to be like bugging the shit out of you to be like, oh man, like I did this show, it was amazing, and I met these amazing people, and now we're going to do the virtual show, and we're going to do panels and all this other, and we're going to get connected and stuff, and then IC3 Tober, the Inktober kind of prompt thing, like that jazzed me a lot. Like I wasn't, I wouldn't say I was in a dark time, but I was still like, it'd been a distance since like IC3-New Haven and OAX and like Heroes Con. And then I was like, this IC3 Tober, we're all doing things in a basement. We're in isolated and stuff like that. And then IC3 Tober hit and just everybody coming out of the woodwork to draw things that I just put a list together and put it out there and put it on social medias, and people just like ran with it, and like that really invigorated me for my responsibility to throw a kick-ass show and get
Awesome.
So it was
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Like any moments that made you step back and say, this is why we do this for indie creators?
Oh, this is why we do this. Well, I mean, part of it's responsibility, because like, who's doing this? Like I have friends that are indie creators. I'm an indie creator, and like you look at the convention scene and what it takes to like set up a booth, the costs, all those things, and I put a lot of thought process into it. That's kind of why like there's the 1-day show. Like you don't have to take off time off work. You can just come to the show, do the show, leave. If you want to come in and stay for a couple of days and network and do those things, that you could do that, but you don't have to do that. You could like, you could just be an indie creator and I try to be as successful as possible. So part of it's a responsibility. And I don't really know what the other part is, but at this point in time, I'm in it, and I have this where it's like, I need to run a successful show, because like, I don't want to say people are counting on me, but like people are counting on me a little bit.
I can get it. That's like it's like your motivation when things are getting heavy,
Yeah, like I think about like, how many people I got. That first show was super stressful, because I was like, you didn't know how many people were going to show up. It was the first show. And then people showed up, and then the thing, we didn't blow the doors off with attendance, but what was amazing is people just walked out with stacks and stacks of books.
Nice.
And when I just saw the people just walking out with a handful of books, I was like, oh shit, people are buying and stuff. So that was very exciting. And then in a year two, like, with the power of CAF behind us and people from CAF supporting the show, and we had the attendance grew and people, bought as well. And that was last year was, again, the first year was stressful. Second year was even more stressful because we didn't have one giant floor. I had like these little, we had a ballroom, and I used every inch of the third floor of Southern Connecticut State University. And there was people in, like, you walk up the stairs and there was a big, like, entryway. There was tables there. There was a giant hallway to the ballroom. There was tables in there. Each like classroom had like 5 tables in it. And so I was like really paranoid about getting people to go everywhere and see everybody. And that's why we made like a D&D map and was like, hey, if you go in this place, you get your map, get your map stamped in each room, and then you entered in to win a prize. And then, we had some giveaways there. So I encouraged people to check out every room, but like people did well in the smaller rooms, and I was very excited for that. But I was that pressure of making sure that you're successful. It's never going to leave me, like, and it's a balance of like bringing in creators, having them be successful, bringing in the audience, and just making it all work. So it's awesome, and I have a great time, but there is like a certain responsibility of like, I got to make sure that this is successful, these creators and stuff.
Yeah, totally understand that. That's admirable. You got to make sure, and honorable as well.
I mean, I do love what my kids show up. The show. If the show last year's show went from 10 to 6, my kids show up at 3. Things have kind of like calmed down for a little bit. I get to walk around with them. I show them all the creators, and they meet some people. Somehow, my kids find the stuffies, even in a place where I try to make sure there's no stuffies. Like, and I was like, where did you find a stuffed animal? And they're like, we found it. It was under the table hiding, but we bought it anyway. I was like, oh man.
Mystery box stuffed animal.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids came, that was funny. My kids came back with like a Quail Man poster
Okay.
from Doug, and I was
From
like,
Doug,
oh my
yeah.
God. I was like, oh man, you guys rock. But
I
it's
always
just
like
cool.
this dog.
Yeah. Pork chop.
Pork chop. There you go. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I like maybe, if it's at OAX or New York Comic Con or Heroes Con, I really want to build a crew for trivia and just dominate.
Oh, that sounds like a fun idea. Yeah.
I know. Like, we need to find a bar that has trivia, like, on that Thursday night, and we just bring all the nerds and just dominate.
Yeah, well, that'd be a lot of fun, actually. We could host something, like comic history or pop culture history. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
all that stuff, that'd be really cool. But yeah, no, man, and IC3 is awesome, and I hope everybody can attend. We have one in Jacksonville this year. We have one in Providence, Rhode Island. I found a bigger venue so everybody could stay in the same place. There's also a bar and a pizzeria attached to the building, so it'll be even more fun. The after party will be at the venue. The drink and draw is going to be at Proclamation Brewery, which
Cool.
is only like a mile away. This year, everything's a lot closer this year. The hotel and the drink and draw and the venue are all within like a mile, so that like you can Uber or do all those things and stuff, to where before there was a little bit more distance between the hotel and everything like that. So I think this year is gonna have like a really cool communal feel, and fingers crossed we might have like a label on a beer can at
Oh,
Proclamation.
cool.
That would be just
Yeah, that's
that'd
one
be
hell
a
of a
fun piece.
collectible.
Yeah, it would definitely, somewhere over there, it'd be sitting on the wall and be like,
Hell yeah. That'd be cool to have.
Yeah.
Right next to the coaster.
Yeah. I know. I got to sign up I got to find this. I did this during the Hero Initiative did something during the pandemic, and I got this
Oh, that's cool. Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. And it was during the pandemic, and it was like a Tony Parker is the artist, and I think it was like a blind draw. They
cool.
were like, hey, we're doing, and I do like this actual like coaster thing.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
But I do have to find like, I gotta, because this is from 2020. I do have to find something to like preserve it in, because it is starting to change colors a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but it stares at Howard the Duck stares at me when I'm working all the time and stuff. Yeah, because right in front of me I have like thin shelves, and I have like all comic books on it. So like comic books are in front of me looking at it, and I've got like Walt Simonson, some Kirby, I've got like some McFarlane and I think I got Liefeld up there and some other things. It's funny. I talked about how I hated how they made Green Lantern a bad guy, and of course I don't know how I got it, but I have a copy. I have this copy just sitting on my shelf because but
Nice.
it's hilarious. I was like, I hate this book, but I stare at it all the time. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what do you think collectors sometimes overlook about independent creators?
A collector. We're talking art collectors?
Art collectors, comic collectors. When they see like an indie creator or an indie created comic or artist, sometimes somebody might have certain ideas or overlook them. But
yeah, that's. I'm usually talking on the other end to the creators, and I'm like, hey, when you do a booth, like maybe find 3 different price points. Like have something at like $5, $10 level, have something at a $20 level, and have something at like a $40 level, so that you have all the different price points. So that when somebody walks up to you, you can be like, hey, this is my comic book. this is my graphic novel. This is, whether it's a piece of artwork or a commission or, so I'm always talking to creators about merchandising their booth in a way that it's obvious. Like if you do commissions, like have a very big commission sign that says this is what I do, and maybe have a book that has things out there where it's like this is my sketch card price, this is this price, this is this, and then you have some examples there. And then also the bootleg thing, I think, is a really good gateway to get big two creators like hey, I have this Batman book, or I have Monty Keene has like a Spider-Man and a Wolverine book, and then like Jim Mafood he's got his bootleg books that he's doing, but I think that's like a solid gateway to get people in, like this Bebop and Rocksteady book, and I'm trying to think what else I have. I feel like I have a few more bootleg books, and it's just fun. It's a twist. I mean, I don't know if Marvel and DC is going to crack down on it and stuff like that, but like this is like a handcrafted book. But you're able to hook big two collectors with like a little niche. Like, hey, this is my Spider-Man, this is my Batman, this is how I draw. And if you're an art collector, then you can be like, oh, I like Stingray. If you've ever met Stingray, and like here's my 42 Stingrays. And so, he's definitely one of those people that have expanded into the indie scene, because he's like, oh, I can, and because there's different price points. He can get a Stingray for $50, or he can get like a really good one for $200. Like it's and beyond. I mean, because there's some indie creators that are established and have been doing this forever, and their rates are comparable to other people and stuff like that. So there's a spectrum. I've always, from being a retailer, I've always been of the mindset that if you're like, hey man, I can't find a comic book to read, you're not looking hard enough, because there's a giant spectrum of stories, and there's a story out there for you. Whatever you're into, there is a comic book for you, and it's amazing. I almost dropped the F-bomb right there. I was really like, it's amazing. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it. But like, there is a comic book out there for you. There's a creator out there for you, and what they're doing is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the big thing, is that like when people are like, oh man, I don't know. I could sell a comic book. This is we're going into retailer mode now. And this is where I think comic book stores, there are amazing comic book stores out there. There's tons of amazing comic book stores out there. And some of the reasons why they're amazing is because they can sell a comic book. I could talk to you for 5 minutes and be like, oh, you need to read Pride of Baghdad. Like, you need that book. You need to read that book right now. Like, Brian K. Vaughan, that guy right there, he's going to do it for you. Or, I'm trying to think of the other things that I have. Stuff of Legends, if you've ever read it, it's like an R-rated Toy Story book, and the artist was at OAX last year, but he has these fine pencil drawings, and it's insane. So basically, like, they have a teddy bear, but when they go into their world, it's an actual like grizzly bear. So things, and the army guy is like Captain America, and it's like, it's aggressive, and it's like, and the art is really good. And then, the Jack in the Box is kind of like ninja kind of guy, because he's, what it does. But like Stuff of Legend, I think it came out in like 2006, 2007. I think everything's out on it.
Look at that.
Yeah, the artwork and that. But like I used to be like, oh, I want to read Batman. And I'm like, oh, where do you want to start? Do you want to start at like year one? Do you want to start like Grant Morrison Batman? And like, where do you want to go? Like, like, oh, I don't know about superhero books. And I was like, well, if you're on the fence about superhero books, like, read All-Star Superman. And this will change your mind about how you feel about superhero books, or like those different stories that you can do. Blanking Ed Brubaker. Somebody walks through the door and they're like, I don't know, curmudgeon. I was like, hey, you can read everything by Ed Brubaker and you'll be fine. You know, it's like, you know, like all his noir stuff and everything that's going on with that. But then, like, there's so many good books out there. There's so many good creators. You know, there's that. When I owned the comic book store, nobody ever came in upset. Everybody came in with a smile. They left with a smile. Like, it was their happy place, and it was good. And that's what I love about the IC3 and OAX is there's nobody upset. You know, they come in. This is their happy place. This is where they get to be the person they want to be. You know, you know, it's like you're among your people, man. Like, this is you get to let down your hair, all those inhibitions and stuff. You know, but we could talk about that because I'm scared to order commissions and stuff.
We were talking about this right before we started. We went live, but so when it comes to commissions, I tend to not be very direct with like, so many details, or you know, because when I first started getting like sketch card commissions, I kind of was doing that. I was like, oh, I want this, I want that, and then I started after you get the piece, and then it's here, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it's not kind of like, I don't know. To me, if I'm critiquing it so much, it's not, and this is weird, but to me, it's not original. Because it's not the artist's depiction of what's coming out of their head or their creativity. It's me saying, hey, I want him this way in this pose, wearing this outfit. I mean, I might as well photocopy a comic book if that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So, and I would ask an artist, be like, hey, I like this style. I don't like this. Do whatever you want with it. And then sometimes I'm like, I add a raccoon, you know what I mean? I tell them to add a raccoon, but that's like the only things I really ask for. I'm not critiquing it so much. So, and I found it's more liberating for myself because it's more of a surprise in a way of when you get the piece back. And I like to be surprised. I'm like, don't send me an update unless it's crazy detailed. And I like to actually get it and be like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah,
so I have like I have a price point because I have kids that still need to go to college. You know, so it's like I can't go too high or low. I do know that I've tried to find out like what the artist likes to draw before I like do something. Like I know that Eric Larson likes Nova. Like it's his favorite character. So I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, can I get a Nova sketch?" And like you saw him perk up. He's like, "Nova?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not lying, dude. I like Nova, man. Richard Rider. I got it. You know, Annihilation. I'm in it." I felt like I had to defend my Nova. But like he was just smiling and talked to me the whole time while doing Nova. And then there was another creator that I talked to, and I was like, "Hey, can you draw Nova for me?" And they're like, "Who?" And then I like had to show them, and they're like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, maybe I should have looked at everybody else was getting like Batman, Joker, other things. I'm like, maybe I should have just gotten a Joker, like because it would have been like 10 times better than what I got because this person wasn't excited and didn't really know. Get you. You know,
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. For me, it's a little different. So I've been in that situation.
Do you have anything that's not Man-Thing on your wall?
Yeah. I have. I used to PC Rocket Raccoon and Man-Thing.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of Rocket Raccoons, but a bunch of the Rocket Raccoons I critique too much, or I asked to look like something. So then the artist had to write on the back of the card, like in respect to whatever, or however they worded it, and to the previous artist. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm like
this is homage to
homage or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not. That's when I started really getting to it. So I was like, I started moving to Man-Thing. But for me, when I ask an artist to do Man-Thing, sometimes they've never done it, but are very enthused to do it. Sometimes they tell me, "Oh man, that's I love doing horror stuff." Or
right.
So I get a lot of the opposites where they're very happy to do it. But in retrospect to what you're saying, there's artists who are known for characters.
Right.
So I've gone to them asking, oh, well, to get a Joker or to get a Batman from this artist is like what you should do.
Right.
And then I've gotten that piece and I'm like, I bet they really would have did a good Man Thing though. You know what I mean? Like, so now I gotta now I have to follow up with it and now be like, get a Man Thing. So now I've just learned, and especially after this OAX, I think I'm going to be more focused on Man Thing in the future. Because this year I was like, I don't know if I should keep doing Man Thing or maybe I'll switch it up with DC and I was kind of riding the DC wave with Upper Deck cards and everything. So I was like kind of in this DC mindset. But in reality, I was like, I should have been more focused on asking these artists that I didn't get the year I went from year one for me. Man Things from. That's what I should have continued on. So you live and you learn and you got to critique, you know.
I was going to pull up the OAX roster because I was like, who did I? So Matthew Allison. I did a Joker sketch card. Okay. So the sketch cards I went Joker, and I'm trying to think of who else I got a Joker card from. And then Jules, I had her do Spider-Punk because she does like a lot of detailed backgrounds, and I was like, oh man, you could do a lot of things with like Into the Spider-Verse with the backgrounds and stuff. Because I mean, so for me, it's like my heroes are like Spider-Man, Green Lantern, like those are the two, like nice. and Thor. Like Thor was so. When I collected as a kid, X-Men was too expensive to get back issues, and so I did Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man, and I paid for those. But then I started like, oh, who's cheaper? And it was like all the like Thor, Iron Man, Avengers back in the 90s. You could buy everything for here. Buy this whole box for $10. Avengers suck, back then. X-Men. Yeah, X-Men was an X-Men thing, but Jules Mamone, I got the Spider-Punk, and then I'm trying to think of who I got I definitely, a part of me wants to save money for a Bella Racklin. I don't know if you saw the Bella Racklin.
I did.
Her paintings are amazing.
Yeah. She did incredible work with Unbound for Upper Deck.
Yeah. And I ordered another one. I don't know if the person got removed or not, but.
Ooh, I have 27.
You did 27 commissions? Oh my God. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. Guys, let me. Yeah. I did 3, and I'm going to try to figure out.
Count again. I think it's 27. That's why I was like, damn, for 27. I'm gonna
sketch cards, or did you do like full commissions too?
I think I have like 17 sketch cards, and then I've got a few other pieces. But I'm also counting like commissions that I'm picking up there from artists that I got this year. Well, 2025, but it'd just be better to pick it up from the artist. So like I have an EM Gist I'm picking up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he did a Man Thing for me, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. I'll pick, dude. I have it all written down in my book because there was one point where I was like, I forgot. I was like, did I get that or did I not get that? But yeah, I think it's a bunch. I'm also picking up OA from Next Comic Art, which is Joe Medina corner page of Man Thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think in total, Jared Cullum's doing a Joker and Batman for me because it's a 2-character.
That's cool. And I saw his auction. Did you see his Usagi Yojimbo auction piece?
Yeah, dude, the Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That thing is ridiculous. I was thinking Dan Jurgens sold out, but I wanted to get like a Booster Gold Blue Beetle.
Cool. You like Booster Gold, man?
I do like Booster Gold.
Booster Gold's cool, man. I like the robot thing.
Yeah. Skeets.
Skeets, there you go. He was actually a really big character in Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon.
He was.
Yeah. That's where I was like, oh, Booster Gold's actually a pretty cool dude. He's just a normal dude.
He was. Yeah, Booster Gold has one of those like cool backstories and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was like the janitor of the place, the museum that had the suit or something.
Yeah,
he stole the suit.
Yeah, he's an injured athlete who stole technology and just went back in time.
He's a superhero. It's a great story, though.
Yeah, but no, it's I'm really excited for OAX, man. Like, there's
me too.
Because like my first year was just like getting my feet wet with them, knowing who I am now, and then between Heroes Con and New York Comic Con, like now I have friends and stuff, and then like I'm gonna make more friends. Like it's Bub. We mentioned Bub Crawl. Like I'm gonna make. So it's just cool. I mean, like I think I saw you at OAX last year.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure.
We never talked.
No, not until the comic art fans meetup.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it'd be more fun.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's the thing that's like awesome is that like the friends you make at OAX and at IC3 and just building on the because here I'm always going to go to Heroes Con. I'm always going to go to New York Comic Con. So it's like I'm going to see Aranga D at least like 3 times a year, and we're going to do stupid things late at night and eat pizza. I mean, like,
yeah. Walk the streets of the city.
Oh man, it was New York, man. New York was so much fun. I had 3 a.m. pizza 3 nights in a row, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think it was almost 4 a.m. pizza almost. It was late pizza. It was good pizza though. It was a good time. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to OAX. IC3 is going to be at OAX, right?
Yeah, no, we have some legendary creators coming down. We have some up and comers, or people that have been just doing really good artwork and stuff. And then because you can go to the website and you can like look by each section now. Like so, if you go to like artist on oax.art and then you go, there's like a filter menu, and you can go to IC3 and you can see like Matthew Allison is an indie creator. Carolyn Cash, Jared Cullum. All these Aranga D has a Kickstarter for a self-publishing book coming out. My buddy Jamie Jones will be there, and we're partners in crime. So if you would like to commit a crime, just hang out with Jamie and I during OAX, and we'll do some stuff. And then you talk people like Jimmy Palmiotti, who like was doing indie stuff in the 90s and now is publishing more indie stuff now than he ever did in the 90s. So it's a full spectrum of indie creators with IC3. So it's really cool. The same thing with like the sketch card artists and stuff. I mean, like these are people. This is the stuff that I'm excited for. Is like these are all different areas that I weren't on my radar. I have blind spots. So I just love talking to people about new different things and stuff like that. So there was like one dude at OAX who had like all these like book covers from like the 40s and 50s. Oh, wow. The illustration art of like just like that crazy I'm trying to think of what was that like sci-fi magazine,
mystery,
like Popular Mechanics would always have that crazy like rocket ship or like newfangled technology, and this guy had like all like these paintings of all that stuff. And
really? That's crazy.
I was like, oh my god, this is really cool. So and then I don't know, holding a Todd McFarlane page that's like $1 million. I'm like, why are you letting me hold this? Like you're that stuff boggles my mind too. Like, but so, I did buy. I showed you my first like, I bought this. Now I'm part of the crew.
You got to put stickers on it, bro.
I got to figure out how I'm going to make it work. But it's really that's amazing. I was never part of anything like this where there's like, hey, let me see your binder. And it's just like, here's like all this amazing stuff that people have. And there's, the connections to all that different stuff, I mean, like it's the stories are amazing. The stories are just fun and amazing. Yeah. And art's amazing. Art's amazing.
Well said. Very well said. All right, so we'll close it on that, brother.
No, man. I got one question for you. So, what is your holy grail? Like, what is the thing you're like? This is what I want the most.
Oh God, what I want the most?
Yeah, like what is if you within reason, but like what is your like I don't know if a man thing holy grail or like what is like your artwork holy grail?
Oh, okay. Ooh. I would love to get a Dan DeSantos Man Thing or the OA of Man Thing from Marvel Masterpieces 2022.
Okay.
That would be my holy grail.
Okay.
A 4-Man Thing. Original art would be Man Thing from Marvel Masterpieces 2022. Original art from Dan DeSantos. I have the preliminary art. I'll grab it. I have
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I want to see.
So this is probably would be the closest because it's a piece of it. But yeah, I mean, if I had the painting, that'd be really cool. But yeah, so this is the preliminary art.
Okay.
Let me make it bigger. Hold on.
And so this was his sketch that he used for painting, or like?
Yeah, this is the preliminary art for the painting.
That's really cool.
And then this came from Upper Deck off of a redemption card.
So you had to win it?
Somebody had to pull it. I bought it from them.
Oh, okay.
Somebody had to pull this. So technically this could have sat unredeemed forever from Upper Deck.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, somebody hit it, and I was fortunate enough to grab it from them, and yeah, it's probably one of my favorite.
That's a really good one. I like the skull. I mean, that's
dope.
the thing with Man Thing. You can go like he has that. I'm calling it a turtle back, but like you don't have to go into that much detail with Man Thing. You know, like whatever's going on with him and stuff. But like he's like really went into super detail on that drawing and stuff, and that's like super dope.
Oh, he's so good. Incredible artist. I'm trying. I will continue to try, Dan, to get him on the show. He's just very busy, and sometimes there's been some conflicts of like a show he had to do, and then he was teaching on certain nights. This night of the show, so I'll get him on one day, man. Because that's the set that got me back into collecting cards, and then that got me into sketch cards, and what led me into original art, and being a part and welcomed into such awesome community. So
yeah, there's a gateway drug. There's a gateway drug for everything.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great journey. I mean, I've always loved art. I've always loved enjoying all of it, and for it to be now in comic book art, or art that I can ask a commission of, is just, it tops it for me, bro. So like I was saying, I got a lot of commissions. I'll get a count of what actually I got for OAX. It's a lot.
That's
it's high.
awesome.
It's higher than the first year, but it's so high to the point I was like, wow, I should have just maybe. So for 27, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a comic quality piece, comic cover quality piece from. There's a few artists floating in my head that I want to get, but that'll be price-wise comparable to all of these sketch cards I got.
Yeah, no, that's the back and forth of like getting a little bit or getting one big thing. Yeah, I know I know that like Jared Cullum has a stack of like still life paint watercolors, and for me like I try to buy stuff that I can sneak into the upstairs. So like I'm probably gonna get like a Jared Cullum still life, and I'll put it in a frame and just hang it in the living room. And my wife Margot will be like, "Oh, that thing's pretty amazing." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah,
you like that, right?
Yeah, you like that, right? It's really good. It's really good."
And then that's planting a seed, because then later on you can be like, "Oh, you know the artist you really like who did the pears?
Yeah,
he also did this Thor that I bought." I'm gonna put it in the living room.
I know, because I have from Captain America: First Avenger. I went to the first screening at San Diego Comic-Con.
Nice.
And Chris Evans came in when Chris Evans was nobody.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Blah blah. Captain America. Hope you enjoy it." But they gave this like sick poster, and I'm blanking on the artist, but like I've been waiting to frame it, and I was like, I need to get that framed and put that on the wall too, because I have because I have like a Stranger Things poster that I got at like Star Wars Celebration. The guy was artist there, but it glows in the dark, like it's the moon glows in the dark. And it's like, nice. And so it's like super dope. So like when you walk down the stairs, that's the first poster you see. And so, I've had some dads walk into my basement and be like, "Oh man, this is really nice. Why?" And they look at their wives and they're like, "Yeah, don't even think about doing that."
You're like the talk of the town with the dads. Like, oh, he's got such a cool basement.
It was funny. It was like I see a dad with like a Superman tattoo. I was like, hey man, you like Superman? Like, how much do you really like Superman?
Yeah,
and then
right.
they come over to my house and I was like, look at all this stuff, and it's like, oh shit, it's
I really like Superman. Hey man, it's a conversation starter if anything, right?
yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome. So
It's a lot of fun.
cool, man.
So where can people follow IC3 and stay up to date with any of the upcoming shows?
Okay, so the website is ic3.art. That lists all the shows. We have an Instagram handle. It's Indie Comics Creator Con. Indie Comics Creator Con. I always want to say .com, but it's just Indie Comics Creator Con is the Instagram handle. We have a Facebook page. But the website, you go to the website and then you can sign up for the newsletter. And the newsletter is where all the first information drops about, when applications go live or when we make announcements on guests and everything that goes on from there. But so getting on the newsletter would be the number one thing to do if you're an indie creator and you want to come to a show.
Awesome. And the website for IC3 and Comic Art fans is in the description of this episode. So if you want to go in, make sure to click on that link and sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss out on anything. So it's awesome. So this is going to wrap up my conversation with our guest tonight. Thank you, Matt. Running a convention, especially one built around independent creators, is a lot more work than most people ever see. Matt gave us great look behind the curtains and a great look behind what it takes to succeed for a creator-focused show. If you're an indie creator looking for a supportive show to table at, or a collector who enjoys discovering new artists, great price points, and original stories, IC3 and Comic Art fans is absolutely worth checking out. I have the links in the show, as I said, in the description, so you can learn more about the broader network for IC3. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or sharing it with fellow comic fans. It really does help the channel grow. Thanks for tuning in on another episode. Keep collecting, keep creating, and as always, ramble on. Thanks, guys.